Hey, what's up, you guys? I understand it's been considerably long since I posted anything, so I apologize for that. Not. Anyways, I was watching this one video on some channel, I don't even remember, but this guy was talking about how women get paid maternity leave more often than not, and how um, of course, that's a female privilege, but he was also trying to make it seem like it should be taken away because it's pretty much draining funds. Um, like, it's a bad use of funding, pretty much. And I was sitting there and I was like, I think this dude doesn't understand why maternity leave is a thing. Hi, John. And anyways, I'm going to try to sort of like Xamsplain this. So, maternity leave is particularly important because when you have a child, it's completely life changing financially, physically, all that good stuff. And this dude in this particular video apparently does not take the time to consider that because his argument was that maternity leave is like you taking time off. He's treating the matter like it's a vacation. That's the part that I had an issue with, and I'm like, what? Maternity leave is far from a vacation. This is actually you recovering from a medical event. Being pregnant and giving birth doesn't mean that a woman is sick. So let me put that out there. But on some women, symptoms show up that may complicate the process, and that requires medical attention. Some women get nausea, some people have gestational diabetes, which means that these women are diabetic during the pregnancy. Let's see, what else can happen? Some people just flat out cannot live through a pregnancy, you know? But, anyways, um, when you take maternity leave after the birth of your child, you are recovering from a physically demanding process on a woman. So to say that a woman is just going on vacation is kind of crazy because my idea of vacation is I'm having fun, I'm resting, I can take a breather, I can relax, stuff like that. But with maternity leave, some women end up pretty toe up and the baby needs attention. And the guy in this video was saying that, it was a choice to engage in the act and become pregnant and have a baby. I get it. But think about it. If we treat the matter like it's a vacation, that's part of being a member of society. Having kids is part of being a member of society because otherwise civilization will end. It's our responsibility. So I think it's not unfair to facilitate the process for a worker to be able to take time off to deal with personal life matters. If anything, I feel like there should be a paternity leave because it would be nice for the husband or the father of this child to also be present and taking an active role in, you know, helping the wife whenever she's feeling all crappy from having given birth. He can help out. But at the same time, I think about the past and I'm like, there was a time when my grandparents, my great grandparents, it's they're married, they part throughout the day to do their stuff, like they go their separate ways. Like my grandfather would do his construction work, my great grandfather had his own land, so he was like managing it, and then my grandmothers would stay at home, cook, take care of children, etc., etc. So it's like the argument may come up of, oh, we live in a world where the women cannot take care of their stuff and the men cannot take care of their stuff either, I guess. Let's just treat it like that. And I'm like, no, what happens is as time passes, stuff changes and we have to evolve along with it. Call me crazy, but I think if we are able to give the parents maternity leave and paternity leave, I think that is progress because in the past, unfortunately, I haven't conversed with my grandparents about this, or well, my grandmothers, since they're all I have. But I wonder what it was like during their time when their children were born. Was the father ever able to be there during this? I suppose not, because I don't recall ever hearing a story of, when my children were born, a grandfather was here, or this and that. Or I feel like my mom would have told me something about that. It's like they never stopped going about their lives like they're supposed to. But then again, giving birth back then was just different. I feel like women were better trained. They could rely on themselves independently, physically, to deliver a child. Modern women depend too much on medical assistance, like the intervention of the hospital and all that. And I'm like, what? So, so I think it's kind of a tricky matter to just treat maternity leave like I'm just taking time off. Yeah, it's true. I'm taking time off because if I'm someone who is in physical pain, I cannot show up to work and do my job because I may get injured. And if I get injured on the job, that brings a whole set of problems. It costs the company money, and me getting injured is my fault because I am not in shape to go back to work. So, what is the most responsible thing to do? Take time off and be safe and recover, or show up to work because I'm not getting paid for leaving and run the risk of getting injured. So, as a worker, I think that I don't like to use the word deserve on this, but I think I deserve to have a personal life, like live a full life in my personal life outside of work. And I'm the woman, so I have to carry the children. It's not my fault that that's the way nature works, and society cannot figure out a way to make it easy for me to be able to work while I recover from having delivered. See what I mean? So the least that you can do to me as a full-time worker or whatever kind of worker who contributes to your company is, if you have the funds available, why not use them? What's like, I look at that as extremely greedy, if you ask me. Like, I earned that. Just leave me alone, you know? I think I think of the way I would run a company. So if someone needs help, especially because there's something medical going on, I will help. I'm not afraid of giving. So to like criticize the fact that women take maternity leave and that it should be unpaid, it's kind of crazy because come on, you gotta be able to live a filling life, a full life. You know what I mean? So, anyways, let me see what you guys are saying. Simmer, you're familiar with the Family Leave Act? Not that one. Fill me in. I agree with you. Were your grandparents in this country or from another country? They were from this country. Um, but at some point they were like I have my mom has French and Italian ancestry, but I'm not sure if my great great grandparents were that or if they were already like first generation Americans. I'm not really sure on that one. I'll have to get back to you. I think employers just expect males to sacrifice home life for work life. You can't expect that of a mother. You shouldn't expect it from a father either, but people do because they always have. See, I get that. That's why I had to mention how was stuff back in the good old days, because I'm feeling like in modern days this has been turned into an issue because first of all, women are working more and that was not typically associated with us. But if we're involved, then you got to understand that we're just different. So we need adjustments. And not only that, but I think it's insane to be like, oh, you shouldn't get paid for your time off because you had a baby. Like, what? I mean, I'm not working because I don't want to work. I'm not working because I have to take care of my child. And I'm physically incapable of doing my job like I normally do. You know, like where I'm at, I have to be on my feet. I have to do some lifting. I have to do a lot of walking. Like the doctor will tell me, you need to rest. And I understand why. I will lose my strength. Like, as much lifting as I do at the gym, I will have to pretty much start from zero because I'll go I think, 7 months without being able to exercise like I'm used to. I have to recover. It's not a vacation. I am recovering. I am sorry that I am not designed like a man to where I don't have to worry about this. If I could just, I don't know, spit out an egg and then it gets, what do you call that? Like, um, incubated somehow, then cool, you know? I will not take my time off and I'll see this baby just crack open. But no, it doesn't work like that. So, yeah, no, 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 no. So I think maternity leave is great. And I also think that the modern man deserves paternity leave because it would be nice to have both parents involved during the birth of this child and the development of this child. I also understand that, if everyone did this, say that for some reason at some company there's five people who are expecting and they're going to have their child at around the same time and everyone takes paternity leave. I understand that hurts the business, but you know what? There's something cool called scheduling. So you can organize that somehow. Be like, okay, we will grant you paternity leave, but let's give you a week. You take the following week. You take the following week. I only see the solution to things. So to just bring up a problem when there really isn't any, it's kind of madness for me. Let's see. What else are you guys saying? Family Leave Act gives workers the opportunity to take time off for childbirth in it broke at an age. I think paternity leave would be a good idea. I don't see a man needing so long to recover because they are not physically affected, but the psychological effects of pregnancy on the dad are huge. Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't even focusing on that. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, it's like if I were to imagine it like from a guy point of view, I'm like, okay, my lady is already like tired, toe up. She had her child. She has to nourish this child like physically. So yeah, I didn't even consider that. I'm so glad you brought that up because I never thought about how this may psychologically affect the dad. And not only that, but you will lose sleep. From what I hear from people who are already parents, sleeping is something that's not going to happen for a while. So there's a lot of getting used to. That's why I mentioned earlier, this is a completely life changing event. So you cannot just treat this lightly. Can you imagine having no say in the well being of your gestating child, 9 months of knowing your child is happening and being completely unable to take any kind of action? Oh, that would be terrifying. I don't know about you, but I would need time off after that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you guys, those are my thoughts. I will look at my video history and look for that video so I can link it in the description in case you are interested in like listening to what this guy was saying because I don't think it's fair for me to just sit here and try to tear him up and then you guys don't really know what he said and maybe you guys will hear something that he said and you'll come back to me and be like, Zam, you completely neglected this, or, how dare you? So I'll do that. I'll link it in the description, and then you guys can leave me a comment or whatever, anything that you want to add, or anything else that you want to know from me on the matter. Really, I like to keep it simple because, I mean, like I said, I just find the solution to things. I cannot dwell on problems. It's pointless. Have a good weekend, Sammy. You too, John. Thanks so much for showing up. Did not know that. I thought every Western country had it. That is a negative. Um, well, I think maternity leave is available for everybody, but um, the point of the video was that there was a guy trying to criticize the fact that women get that. And I'm like, well, you need to understand why we get it. It's not necessarily like we're being given time off just for shits and giggles, you know? It's recovery time. So it's definitely not the same as taking a vacation where you can, I don't know, travel and be in a bikini and have a good time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyways, you guys, again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. Are you gonna pause? Yes.